What's up, Schmoville? Welcome to episode 15 of the Don't Be a Beardo podcast with my guest, David Griffin. Before we get into the episode, I just want to remind you that we have a whole network of shows on the SK Plus YouTube channel and the Schmoes Know iTunes feed. We have The Wanger Show with me, Copster, and Cody. We have the Schmodown Rundown. We have Sight and Sound Weekly. We have After Schmo and also the Outlaw Nation. Please rate and subscribe to our channels on YouTube and iTunes and enjoy my conversation with David Griffin.
Shut up and sit down.
I'm just gonna get right into it, man.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect, so this is cool.
No, no? Never heard it. Never heard the podcast. Never heard of me.
No, I know you. I met you at the Josh's. That was the first time I met you. Yeah, I'm still new to all the schmoes, side of things. I mean, Roga did that podcast, and then with Copster and all those guys. But that's about all I know. And Christian, of course. But I'm still new.
Oh yeah, how long you been at Collider? It's been like about a year or so.
Year and a half. Yeah. So I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You guys have a big crew.
There is. It's like a little family over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you hung out with them like outside or anything?
Not really.
No. You keep your distance from them.
At Star Wars Celebration, I hung out with them because I was covering with Schmoes.
Oh, wait, you did like work for Schmoes, or what did you do over there?
Just doing just all like the videos like on the Battlefront games and Last Jedi trailer and all that stuff. So it was just me and Mark because Christian was doing stuff with Collider.
Oh yeah. Wait, Mark was there too? I thought.
Yeah, Mark Ellis. Yeah, at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, okay.
Back in Orlando, Copster was down there.
Yeah. So did you go there because you're like super into Star Wars?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. So it was just me doing it with Schmoes. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So was that your first time like on location, like something like that?
Comic-Con I've done a few times. I did Schmoes with like RB3 and Ace last year. We covered we were like running around all day. So I do know those guys.
Yeah, you were the TV crew.
Right. The TV crew. Yeah, exactly.
So have you been on the actual Schmoes show?
Once. I did the Star Wars Celebration pre-show. That's it. That's the only one I've ever done.
They haven't invited you on?
Well, they keep saying, we're going to have you on the show. We're going to have you on the show. And then I never get invited. So I don't bring it up.
You're a big draw. People like you.
That'd be nice. I'd like to be on there. Yeah.
You're on TV Talk. Was it once a week or how does that work?
Yeah, we tried 5 days a week and it did well. Hopefully we'll get back there again. But right now we're just one day a week on Monday.
How or when will you know if it's going to be like daily? Or?
Yeah, we're not sure. We're still waiting.
Do you want it to be daily? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not because it's just too much TV to cover, and then
that's the thing. Yeah,
you have to wait a whole week. There's so much to cover. It's just too much.
Yeah, and then you have an hour a week just to cover all that.
We're always rushing.
Yeah,
we're always running out of time.
So you like the daily thing where you got to like. Okay, let's settle like 20 minutes for Iron Fist or whatever. You like that?
I like that much better, yeah.
You like TV more than movies, though?
Ooh. It depends. I think some things work better in long form.
Yeah.
Others are better as a self-contained story. There's some certain shows. Are we going, by the way?
Yeah, I'm recording. I'm just looking at your levels.
Oh, cool. All right, we're going.
Yeah.
No, there's certain movies that they're trying to get into TV, and there's certain TV trying to get into film, and I feel like some of the ideas are good, some aren't. I think some concepts just work better in short form. Like, what's the movie? Like District 9. Neil Blomkamp's District 9. I think that works well as this 2-hour movie. It's just self-contained. You could do a TV series about it because there's a lot to cover.
Was that an original story, though, or was that based on material?
That was an original story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Blomkamp's original idea.
Okay.
That's not being made into a TV series. I'm just saying that's just one example of a...
But I can see if something's based on original or different material, like a book or something, and spread it out over a series.
Yeah.
As opposed to an original idea, just like a self-contained 2-hour movie.
Exactly. And it's also easier... I mean, TV's getting expensive, especially with Game of Thrones, but it's easier to get more TV made than more movies made. So if you want to do, for instance, The Witcher, which is one of my favorite video games, is going to be made into a Netflix series, which is awesome. And I think it's better that way instead of doing a Witcher movie, because if it bombs, doesn't do as well. But whereas on TV, if it gets, 2-3 million viewers, might be enough for them to get an audience and try to build on that and do a second season.
Yeah.
So
Yes, if it bombs, they're like, let's not do video games adaptation at all. Has there been a good adaptation of video games?
No, I mean, the only one that's had some legs is Resident Evil. And even those aren't great, but they've made 6 or 7 of them. So they keep going.
But were you a fan of the original game?
Yes, but the movie's not like the game.
No, I wish they did an actual Umbrella Corporation Raccoon City type thing with the movie.
And then when Doom came out, I was like, what are they? Doom, they tried to make it like Resident. They made it about a virus. I'm like, Doom's not a virus. It's a gateway to hell. What are you doing? Like,
is that how it was?
Yeah. They ruined it. It was horrible.
Were you like a big like geek, like nerd with like computer games? Like way back then?
That's where I started. I started on computer before I did console. So like Wolfenstein was one of the first games I ever played back in like 92 or 93. And then Doom after. This was back in the day. Then Doom after that. And I was also always on PC before console.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Doom was the shit when you like started off and it's just like going through little corridors and shit, like using the controls.
Right.
That was fun.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I was a little guy playing that. I was scared, but I loved it.
How old are you? Do you mind your age?
33. I just turned 33 back last month. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How long you been in LA?
8 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Where are you from?
Buffalo, New York. Grew up there originally, then went to school in Michigan, and then came out here when I was 24.
Wow, 24.
So it'll be 9 years in September. It's almost 9.
Wow.
It'll be 9 years in a couple of months, yeah.
And what was the dream to come out here?
I was in grad school to be a pastor, so I went to seminary. And halfway through, I was just like, I kind of like talking about movies and video games and comic books. Like, how do I do that? So I transitioned. I finished my degree, but I transitioned into talking about, that kind of stuff, entertainment news. I found Dennis actually on a small website called Think Hero. That's how I got started.
I know. I was there for when you recorded Josh McCouga's.
I talked about that. That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, and I rewatched it again. I was like, I'm gonna get notes.
Right.
Try to get deep in there, but you didn't go back to I want to go back to like a little David Griffin. Like
way back in the day.
Elementary school. Were you just like class nerd, like geeky type kid, or how were you?
Yeah, it's weird. When you're a kid, I don't know if there's like one event that started it all. It's just kind of slowly. I think it's because my dad, he introduced me to, I'm trying to think, what was it first? Well, Alien was crucial. We talked about Alien just a little bit before. Yeah, Alien. I watched that when I was probably like 10 years old.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first rated R movie that I was allowed to watch. My dad, I remember he brought the VHS home. It's like, oh, David, I talked to your mother. We're going to watch this. And I was pumped. I was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. Back in the day before I was watching a bunch of trailers on YouTube all the time. So I just watched it. It terrified me.
That movie's terrifying for a kid.
Yeah. When that facehugger comes out of the egg, I was terrified, but I loved it. And I wanted more. And I watched Aliens and Alien 3. And I got hooked on that. And my dad was a big Star Trek fan. Oh, okay. Still is. So I grew up because Star Trek Next Generation came out in 87. So maybe not then, but maybe 89, 90 when I was probably like 6 years old. I started watching Star Trek Next Generation with him. So that just kind of led into one thing, then Star Wars, and just kind of kept going and going. But then I got to school, we get into college, you learn about real things, like what's a real job, what are you going to do? And I was in Michigan, so I didn't know about YouTube and people doing videos and things like that.
How did you make the transfer from New York to Michigan? Like, what was that?
My dad got another job. He's a doctor, orthopedic surgeon. He moved from Buffalo to Southwest Michigan near Kalamazoo, which is where Western Michigan is. And just because of job. It kind of sucked, though, because I was a junior in high school.
Oh, and he just took you out of class?
Yeah, so that sucked. I mean, I realized it was a job. When you get older, you realize it, but that sucked.
But it was your last year before graduating, he took you with all your friends?
Yeah, so I just basically kept my head down for a year and a half. I had a good time. It was fun. High school was fun. I cut my head down, then went to college, and I had a blast in college.
But do you have brothers or sisters?
Sister, yeah. She's 7.5 years older than me. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So were you guys close at all?
We didn't get close until I was in college.
Oh, okay.
That's when we first got close.
That makes more sense because the gap, it doesn't really matter.
Because when she went to college, I was 10.
Yeah.
So we had nothing in common.
Is she does she want to be what's the female of a pastor? Is it the same thing?
No. She's an she's a opera singer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, an opera singer. Yeah.
So she's like an artistic type?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Artistic. Yeah. Nobody in my family was a pastor or anything. It wasn't that came out of the blue. That wasn't anything that my dad's a doctor, my mom's a counselor, sister's an opera singer.
Oh, I thought you were trying to follow the family.
No.
Then why what was that decision to do that?
Oh, it's weird. Try not to get too. So I don't know. I was trying to think. Long story short, it's a long story. I was on a spring break trip in college. Last year in college, my senior year, we went down to Florida, and all my friends went out. I won't get too mystical here, but you can
get mystical.
Yeah,
get whatever you want.
They were saying, I was like, you know what? I think I have a feeling I need to stay in and chill. I had my Bible with me, and I was like, I'm going to read this a little bit and just stay and not go out that night. I don't know. I just thought about that. And then all of a sudden I got these feelings that I wanted to become a pastor or needed to go to seminary. And believe what you will, whatever your faith is, that led me to come out to California. Now, in the end, I didn't end up following that path. I'm not a pastor right now. I'm talking about, I was just on TV Talk today with, Josh McCouga, and all those people doing that. But it did lead me out here. So I don't think everything happens for a reason necessarily, but I think some things that happen in your life that do change. And that was one of those nights. If I can think of one night in my life that changed me, for some reason I stayed in that night. I don't know why. I'm not going to say I'm a spiritual guy, but I don't know everything. I'm not going to pretend I know. So like, well, that was God, or that was somebody telling me, that was the universe, that was blind luck, you know, whatever you want to call it. But something happened that night that shifted me from, I was going to go to law school. I was already taking my LSATs. From going to law school, looking at seminaries, which led me out here. And then halfway through seminary, I'm like, I don't really like doing this right now, but I love this other stuff. How do I get involved? I met Dennis Zen, who's now one of the heads of production over at Collider Video. And moved in that direction.
But you didn't have a major in college? Like
I was an English and history major. I was a double major, so I had two. It took me 5 years to graduate.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But you didn't have like a focus. Like you didn't know like exactly what you wanted to do after.
I was pre-law. I wanted to go to law school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah, but then like just that one night changed it. That
changed it. I mean, it was circumstances. I went back and then I talked to my pastor, and he's like, "Well, why don't you come do an internship at the church while you're in college?" I worked at the church for a year doing youth ministry, and then I visited a bunch of schools. Yeah, one in Boston, 2 in LA, and 1 in Chicago. I was tired of the cold, so I was like, let's go to LA.
LA? What school in LA?
Fuller Theological Seminary, which is actually one of the largest seminaries in the country. The guy from eHarmony who created eHarmony, he went there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's some celebrity pastors from
where in LA? Is it like in Pasadena?
Right in Pasadena.
Oh,
right near Old Town, not too far from Old Town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right near like where the Paseo is. It's like right near that area. Yeah.
So that's why like you were already out there. That's why you're.
Yeah, I was already in Pasadena, so I just love. It's my favorite area of LA, so I just stayed in Pasadena.
Really? You don't like the West Side or
no? I mean, I like visiting it. I love the beach. I was born in Virginia Beach. Didn't live there long. That's why I don't really mention it, because I lived there I think I moved when I was 6 months old.
Oh, okay.
But my dad's family's from there. So I love the ocean. I love the water, but it's just too far away from everything. It's so cramped over there.
What, in like Santa Monica or something?
Yeah. I mean, I like, where you are here, Pasadena, Burbank area. I like, because I grew up in small towns, so I like the suburban feel, and Pasadena has that suburban feel, but it's still close enough. I can get to other areas if I need to.
But you don't like the city life, like the West Hollywood? No. you wouldn't be able to live out there?
No.
Why is that?
It's just cramped. It's just tight. The roads are small. Like, it's funny when I'm people come to visit me, they're like, "Well, your roads are so wide out here." I'm like, "I know, it goes down like 1,000 people in one like square mile." No, I just like the space. Yeah, I like the space. It's like close to the Rose Bowl. I like the community. Pasadena doesn't feel like LA as much, which I kind of like. I mean, I like LA.
Yeah.
And Hollywood's just a different feel.
It's for the younger, like 20s, like guys in their 20s just doing whatever they want to do.
And everybody has an image out there. Yeah. Like, it's funny, like if you go to, like, we have an ArcLight Cinemas in Pasadena. You go to that ArcLight, then you go in Hollywood, the way everybody looks, nice people, but it's just everybody looks like they're from Hollywood.
Oh yeah. All like the quote unquote producer,
and the style, the fashion. It's like, oh, I'm in Hollywood now. Yeah.
You hear their conversation like, oh, I just came back from a pitch meeting.
It's like, so I was talking to Chris Nolan, and it's like, all right, whatever. It's just like, I know, right? It's like, were you really? You really know who he is? Yeah.
So you're cool. You're like, you see the bullshit in like all the like the city.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So you can get past that.
Yeah.
So you like being outside of the whole thing.
But I do love living in the city area. Like, I wouldn't want to move back to a small town. That's why I like Pasadena, because it feels like a small town, but I'm still in LA County. I'm so close to everything.
So you came out when you were 24?
2008.
Oh,
yeah. So it'll be 9 years. So 9 years now, basically.
And then you did that for what, 2 years?
School was 4.
Four more years.
4 more
masters?
years. Yeah. So I've been in college or school for 8 years.
Wow. What do you do with those 4 years? Like
Research.
Is it just
no? Because seminary, like, basically they want you to be prepared to lead a congregation, so you have to learn ancient Greek, ancient Hebrew, so you can translate the old. They want you basically understand the Bible in its original context, and then learn it in its original language, and then try to basically communicate that with your church group in a way they can understand it.
Yeah, like translate it, like not dumb it down, but like be able to communicate it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they basically say if you can't explain anything to a 5-year-old, no matter what, talk about science, whatever, then you don't know what it is. So that's basically what they want you to do.
That makes sense. So then that would lead into like your career, and that would be like your whole
pastor.
thing.
Yeah, wow. That's what I was gonna do.
And then just wait, what happened after that then?
Well, I was midway through it, and that's when I met Dennis and started doing that. But I didn't want to but I still felt like I should finish my degree. And master's isn't a bad thing to have. So I finished it, but I still kept pursuing the stuff that I'm doing, like with Collider. And at that time it was Think Here, like Roth Cornett, who's at Screen Junkies now. She was over there at that time before she went to IGN, then Screen Junkies, and then Dennis, and then AMC started up. So I did some stuff with AMC. Oh, okay. I actually worked for them for a month. And then after that month ended, AMC decided to drop Movie Talk. Then Collider picked them up, but they didn't have enough, I think, money at the time to bring everybody over. So I had to wait a while.
Were you always like a personality or like a host or something like that?
Yeah,
You've always wanted to
and
do
writer.
that?
Yeah,
Oh.
I wrote for ScreenRant.com for a while,
Uh-huh.
and then I have an article up on Collider.com I did like a month ago.
Oh, like you're still writing for Collider?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, like
not full time though. I'm like it's more like if I have an idea, I can pitch it to them.
Oh, nice.
They're already pretty full staffed over there.
Do you have like a full-time gig out here?
I'm just hustling like everybody else.
Yeah?
I'm just hustling.
What does hustling mean?
Like I work at a restaurant out here, as a server. So just kind of doing doing that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and also
yeah.
doing freelance gigs when I can to make extra money. So just trying to get that full time job.
Yeah. So that's the dream, to like work at a Collider or work at one of these places
Exactly.
like full time.
Yeah.
So your dream is to be like a talk show host or like a host personality?
Like a host personality. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Movies or TV?
Both.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, I like the problem is I like so many things.
Uh-huh.
I love video games. I like comic books. I like movies. I like television. So I think that's a good thing for me that I can, I don't know, what's the word?
Cast your net.
Yeah, like I
it's a bigger
diversify
net.
my portfolio.
Yeah.
I know a little bit. I can kind of swing anywhere. So I've had some, I go on Screen Junkies News sometimes. I've done stuff with Nerdist with Dan Casey before, all those places just so, but hopefully I can find a home where I can just do it full time. That's the goal.
I mean, you're a smart guy. You read so much. You write so much.
I try, but I mean, it's just hard. It's just not that many. A lot of people want to do it. There's not a lot of gigs open for it. I mean, the Schmoes are a great group of guys. I mean, you work with the Schmoes, and they're great. I love them, and I'd love to be a part of it full time at some point.
But nothing, man. You look like you hustle and you do everything like right. Like you're like the dream guy.
Oh, thanks for saying that. I mean, I don't have a book that I'm following, but I try. I try to do it right. I try to. One thing I really appreciate about being over at Collider, and when I mean Collider, I mean like the Schmoes and all that. Yeah, this is like most of the great group of people over there.
Yeah.
Especially like Christian and Mark. I mean, as you know, obviously Makuga.
They're super nice.
Cops
super helpful.
Just nice, just regular dudes. They feel like guys I went to college with, just people I know. And I always say this, even though I know Christian's not from the Midwest, he's from New York via Florida, but it's like he's just like feels like Midwestern guy, just like small town guys. Not that big city's a bad thing, nothing wrong with the city. You know what I mean? But like
they just feel like normal guys.
Normal guys. Yeah.
Like you can go grab a beer with afterwards and hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
You go out much or no?
Not really.
No?
I used to, in college. I went hard. I was in a fraternity. Drank at least 4 times a week. I mean, I could drink like 8-9 beers and wouldn't even faze me.
Still now?
Oh no. Now I have more than 2 drinks and I'm feeling it the next day. I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't go out. I mean, I have a drink at my place, maybe go out once a month in terms of like going out. I'll go to a movie or something, but go out and start drinking. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I hate the feeling. I hate being hungover in the morning.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah. Like at Comic-Con, a lot of the people we go with, people will be hanging out, going out, getting drinks. Like I can't do that.
I don't know how they can do that.
Yeah. And then like go cover stuff and walk around that heat. Like I'd pass out.
They go hard like the night before, get home or whenever 1 in the morning, and then wake up and do the whole thing in the morning. Like I don't understand how they can do that.
Right, because you're not quite 30 yet, are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, but like right when I hit 30, it is weird. Like I started feeling things like, that feels different. Not like I feel old. Like I'm still fine, but I just feel like that feels different. Like I can't do that. Some guys of my age are older that still go hard, but I can't do it.
Like your back hurts or something?
No, actually I've never had back problems. It's just like I'll go run or I'll do some activity where I'm trying to like stay in shape, and I'll just feel something like, oh, didn't feel that a few years ago. Like that's different, but nothing. No, I don't have any like serious injuries. I don't want to complain too much.
But when were you in a fraternity? In your undergrad?
Yeah. So I joined right when I was 18.
What was the decision there?
Let's see. It was welcome weekend in college. So I was a freshman, and I went to school like I went off. I was like 4 hours away from home. Parents dumped me off, and it's Friday night. I think it was Friday night. It was the weekend before school started, and my roommates and I, there was 4 of us total.
Guys you never met before?
Guys I never met before, went in blind. Luckily, most of those guys I'm still friends with now, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
We're all sitting there like, well, what do we do? Like, well, I think we go to fraternity row. It's like, okay. So we went there and just like the whole weekend, we just partied all weekend.
The first weekend of college?
First weekend. Yeah. So we went to this one fraternity called Sigma Pi, which is a pretty big national fraternity. Walked in there. We asked the guy, like, where can we get some beer? And the guy's like, well, we don't give out beer here. I'm like, well, where do I get beer? And he gave me the address to the fraternity I ended up joining. He's like, well, I hear these guys are giving away beer. And they weren't supposed to be, but they were. And they were great guys. And I got to know them and ended up joining them.
Wait, how come the first one wasn't giving away beer? Were they just? Like,
I think they were, but I
just
think
said not
they didn't.
To you.
Yeah, because I was a newbie. They didn't know who I was. But this other fraternity who was kind of just they were starting up. They were trying to get the attention and they were just nicer, more hospitable. Yeah, and ended up going in there, and I just fell in love with those guys, and I was there for all 5 years. Well, you never, I'm still a brother. You
still consider yourself a brother?
Yeah, for sure.
Had you drank before that? Like
a few times. I wasn't a big drinker in high school. I was in sports. I did football, basketball, golf. So I was more paranoid It wasn't like I was trying to be a good goody two shoes. I just didn't want to get caught.
Yeah,
because we got busted to be kicked off the team. I love playing sports. And once I got to college, I did some intramurals, but just college leagues. I wasn't a D1 player. I mean, Chris Kaman was at my high school, so right before he went to the Clippers, I remember seeing him walking through the classroom. I mean, this guy's like, a great player.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I don't care. Then I started drinking.
Wait, in high school?
No, college.
In college, you started drinking?
Yeah, and it was a college town. I mean, the school's big. It's a Division I school, about 25,000 people in a small town. Only 25,000 people in the town. So the college was the town. And there was just bars like everywhere and drink specials every night. So yeah, I had a good time. Yeah, my grades were actually really good though.
You kept your grades up?
Yeah, because we had mandatory study hours. Our fraternity has to keep a certain GPA, so like they kind of actually make sure you study. Want to make sure you study. So actually, my grades actually stayed steady.
Yeah, that's the thing. People think like fraternities all partying and like and just crazy shit, but like they do philanthropy work.
Yeah, we did like a 5K thing we sponsored, raised like thousands of dollars for like different charities and things. Yeah,
and they make sure your grades are up,
or else like
do you get did your grades ever drop and you get like punished or something? Like
you can get suspended. Yeah, suspended from the fraternity, not from school. But from fraternity.
But do they like make you do some like stupid shit? Like
not if you're a brother.
Yeah.
Not if you're a brother. If you're a pledge, if you're joining, they make you do some stupid stuff. You're hurting the fraternity. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have to do anything like weird as a pledge?
No, we were actually cool. It is crazy. You do hear stories like people dying. Like our guys were cool. There were drinking things, those kind of exercises, but it wasn't. If you were sick or not feeling well, they would let you stop. They wouldn't kick you out. They wouldn't. They may joke with you a little bit, but no one got sick in the point that they were like going to die or something.
That's where you hear like, they force you to drink alcohol.
Some places do, yeah.
Oh, you've heard of like?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's happened. I mean, on campuses, there was a recent one I heard about the other day where this kid died. I think like 7 of the brothers got like manslaughter charges. They were convicted, and they're all like in their 20s.
Shit.
Yeah, it's not something you want to mess around with. So, I mean, we had things we had to do to get in, but they weren't. I would do them again if I had to.
Like what was some of the things you had to do?
One of the nasty things wasn't even alcohol. It was milk. This thing called the gallon challenge.
You had to drink a gallon of milk?
Gallon of milk in under an hour. Oh. They basically put you in the basement, and it's, 15 of us with a gallon of milk, whole milk.
Each?
Gallon, and you have an hour to drink it, and they basically put a big bucket of garbage can in the middle.
If you want
to you're gonna, and you have to. Yeah. And if you can't keep, some of the bigger guys kept it all in, which they felt horrible. It's better to puke it out. And then the person who didn't finish or was the last to finish had to like take the bag and put it in the dumpster.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, last to finish the milk.
Yeah.
Did you yak it up though?
Oh yeah. It's nasty. And everybody else around you's throwing up, so it's it's like a natural reflex. It's horrible. And so that wasn't even alcohol. That was milk.
Yeah,
nothing to do with alcohol.
It's just torture.
Exactly. But then there's benefits. You get to meet a lot of the sororities. You party with them. So you meet a lot of girls. College was fun. You're just exposed to a lot of things real quick.
Yeah. But like stuff you weren't ready for?
Oh, yeah. I remember one of our first big parties. It was a toga party. I know how cliche is that? Like Animal House, right?
Yeah.
Toga. But we paired with another sorority there. I was 18. Again, fresh out of high school, dumped off. Parents were 4 hours away.
Yeah.
And I remember this girl. She was older. Yeah. She was like 21, 22, a senior.
Wow.
So for me, that's a woman. Like, I'm an 18-year-old messing around with high schoolers. And she was like, we were dancing. And she looked at me and she's like, so are you gonna, ask me to go home with you?
Wow.
And like I didn't know what to say. I kind of freaked out. I mean, obviously you'd think like, well, obviously you say yes, but I kind of freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I left. And I went over to one of my brothers. And we had these books we had to carry around. They're called pledge books. And basically you could do plus or minus points for activities you did, good or bad. It could be anything like philanthropy, stupid stuff. Yeah. I told my brother what happened. He's like, well, did you offer to take her home? And I said, no. He's like, where's your book? Minus points. He gave me like 10 minus points. And then of course he told all the guys about it. So, I mean, you learn.
They made fun of you.
Yeah, they made fun of you. Yeah. Some stuff I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, it is. Like when you, because in society, like it's the guy going after the girl. So when she's like forthcoming like that, it kind of throws you off guard.
She was aggressive. Yeah. And she was older. So I was like, whoa. I mean, I never messed around with somebody who was like 4 years older than me. I was like, whoa, you know.
Like you don't know what to do.
You know what to do. I froze.
You're like, oh, she's kidding, right? Like, you're
now if a girl asks me for a number, ask me out, I say yes right away. Well, it depends. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm some crazy person. But for the most part, yeah. Try to be smart now.
Did you have like long-term relationships in high school?
A few. High school or college?
Or either.
Like high school, not long-term.
How were you with girls?
I was kind of a jerk when I was younger. I thought I was the man, because I was in varsity football and basketball. So, you know, as a jock, I was kind of cliche. You probably wouldn't have liked me back then. I didn't like myself back then.
But you can see now that, like,
I can laugh at it now, but I was a jerk. I kind of messed around and cheated. I don't do that anymore, but that was when I was
cheated
younger.
on girls.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it was bad. I was a jerk.
Yeah. So that's the only way you were a jerk, or would you like mistreat them, or like
not mistreat? Like I wasn't like, you know, abusive or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, I didn't do anything like that. But yeah,
like take them for granted.
Take them for granted. Definitely take them for granted. It took me a while. Maybe towards the end of my college, I was like 21. I was like, this is stupid. I have to stop. Then I smartened up. But
okay,
not that I have everything figured out, but I smartened up. I don't do that anymore.
But it was because you were in the world of sports, and
that's what you kind of expected to do. You know, and guys talk. You know, locker room talks. I mean, you know, still happens now, but I mean, you know, that kind of thing. And then I went to college, fraternity, kind of encouraged it more. Not that I don't want to put it on them because I'm responsible for the decisions I make, but I definitely had something I had to change.
Yeah. But you had a long-term relationship?
Yeah, in college especially. I had 2 1-year-plus relationships with 2 different girls.
Okay.
But since then, dating's been kind of slow. Like out here, it's been slow. I've had one-year relationship out here, and that's about it. I've dated a little bit, but nothing long-term.
That's pretty good, though. 1 year?
1 year's not bad. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. But that was the last one that lasted a year was about 4 years ago now.
Okay. That's not too long. I don't want to say, like... Time's different in LA.
It's like in college it was fast. It was like girl after girl after girl. Not that I was thinking like I'm some great guy, but it seemed easier. I think college, because you're all in one area and you're all kind of pursuing the same thing. It's just easier to date because that's what you do in college. But like now you're out here, everybody's got careers and other things going on.
And it's like there's so many things you're into. It's like, how do you find a commonality with somebody around here? Like different personalities. It's a whole melting pot here.
Yeah.
Who was the girl you met out here?
She was a girl I went to school with.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, I didn't actually meet her until my last year. I was getting ready to graduate. So I didn't meet her till like 2012. I'd already been out here for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
When I met her. And we dated for about a year.
Wait, so she graduated with you, or she was out here?
Yeah, we graduated about the same year. Yeah, I think we walked together. We did. Yeah, we walked together. Yeah.
But then like 4 years later, you hit up each other on Facebook or something?
No, I'm sorry. So I didn't hit her up until we graduated. So it was like I had met her like in a library or something at school, like while I was studying like one of my final tests. This is 2012. This is 4 years after I've been. So I was getting ready to graduate. And then that summer I walked and she walked too. And then we were talking on Facebook. And then we went on a date after we had both graduated. So we were already both done with school. Yeah. So it was later.
And then how did that go? Like you
went just well for a little while.
But a year is good. Like, so you guys had like
good.
something
we had a
going.
Connection for sure. There was just some things that happened, just differences and I don't know. Personalities, just handling certain situations. We just differed. You know, it wasn't like it was kind of a bad breakup.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was just hard.
Like hard because it's like that's a year of your life.
Yeah, and we dealt with things differently. You know, and it was tough. It was a long lasting. Like the breakup took a while to happen, and
so. Like it would like gradually like just split apart. It was like a separation first.
I mean, I had to because I had to end it, and she didn't really see it coming, and that was it was very dramatic.
Yeah. Why did you have to end it?
Oh, it was turning me into somebody I didn't want to be. I'm not blaming on her. I'm not putting the blame on her. I mean, again, I'm responsible for my own decisions, but our relationship, she's a good person. I think I'm a good person, but together it was toxic.
Like what do you mean? Like what is toxic? Like.
Trying to figure this out. So I'm gonna get too. She won't listen to this, but no one knows who it is anyway. Especially in that where I am now. She was going through some family tragedies at the time, which is horrible. That's probably after 6 or 7 months we'd been together. I think her grandfather was dying, and the way she deals with death, which is something you can't tell anybody. Everybody deals with death differently. It's not something I'm gonna force. Like, hey, you should be feeling this way. I never said that to her at all. But it really broke her like emotionally, and it took a long time for her to get over it. And I was kind of being pulled in. I don't say pulled because when you're part of a relationship, you're in one, it's 50-50, it's you work on it together. So if somebody's going through a tragedy, you're going through it with her, it's just kind of how it is. But the way it happened, it was just so exhausting. I stayed with her for, 6-7 months after that situation, but it was kept going.
Like she couldn't get over the death?
Yeah, she really couldn't get over it. It was really hard for her. And I get it. It's a grandfather. I'd already lost my grandfather back in 2000. I was really close to. And I deal with it. My dad's a doctor, so it's kind of a black and white. Like, well, people get older and they die. I mean, I still feel emotion over it, but it doesn't like destroy me as much. And the thing is, the way he died was it was a great. If you can have a good death, it was a great death. I think he was over 90. Her grandfather. Yeah. Okay. He was over 90. He got to see all of his family. He was in the hospital. People got to go visit him, say hi. She comes from a Christian background. People like were praying over her. I'm like, if you're gonna go out, that's a good way. It wasn't like a sudden tragic thing. He's over 90.
It's like say your goodbyes.
Everybody got to meet him. People even flew in from like East Coast and got to meet him. Like I'm like, man, if you're gonna go out, if I'm gonna go out, that's a good way to go out. Went out in his sleep, I think quietly, and had his family around him. So it was a good death, you know, if you can call that a good death. And so, but yeah, it kind of just stuck in our relationship. And maybe if I probably needed to be more patient, you know, and maybe I wasn't, you know, probably wasn't, but it was just so much. And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, we're going to go through this again.
Yeah.
Because death is going to, you know, people are going to die in our family, you know, both sides. And I'm like, I just don't think I can do this with her. Like I couldn't be what she needed me to be. Not that she was being unreasonable. It's just that I couldn't do that. I'm sure there's some guys out there that could. That just wasn't me. And maybe that's something I needed to work on. And I knew that enough. I'm like, I need to end this.
So you didn't want to work on that? Like
no.
No. Like you can't see yourself like supporting her for like a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was with her for exactly. Like it was like 7 months after that had happened, but yeah, it was at that point, I was just done.
Or were there like other like red flags or like relationship issues like going on as well?
Yeah, there was a little bit of both.
It's like she would handle handle other stuff differently.
Exactly. It was in life in general, and again, it's not wrong on her part. Everybody deals with pain and suffering and difficulties in life differently. It's not fair to put that on somebody like, hey, you need to be better at that or something. Or maybe it is. Maybe if I was married to her, maybe like, hey, we need to go to counseling. But I wasn't at that stage yet. We weren't living together. It wasn't anything like that. So I was like, let's just end this now. Yeah.
At that time, were you focused on like a career or like something for yourself?
I think so. Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. Yeah, I mean, because that was right after I graduated school, but I wasn't pursuing what I graduated from. I was going into something different, trying to. So yeah, I think I was going through my own issues, you know, and she had hers, and of course losing a grandfather is more important than me trying to talk about, you know, new Star Wars movies. But and I didn't, again, you know, didn't get on her about that, but I think I needed some attention too in that way, and I think she wasn't able, and understandably, to provide me with that. And I just
it's a hard thing, like coming out here and like wanting to pursue your dreams, but also like meeting somebody and like sharing your dreams with somebody, because like I feel like you have to be selfish to like want to pursue your dreams,
right?
To be like your own personality or self or whatever. And I deal with that. Like, am I too selfish where I have to do this and not give attention to my girlfriend right now?
Right.
Or like, I don't know. I'm always up with like,
it's a balancing act. Yeah. I mean, that's why I think, you know, if we were in a different area, I mean, you're from Orange County, right? So, I mean,
like Inland Empire.
In Orange County, I liked when I moved out here because it kind of reminded me of kind of a small town. Like it was just like, you know, it wasn't the city wasn't as crazy. And I feel like, if you stayed there, maybe settled down, wife, kids, you know, then one person has a career or both have a career, you know, things different nowadays, but it's like, it's different, you know, but here in the city, because I go back to the Midwest, small town, visit my friends and family. Most of my friends are settled down, families, their life appears to be very structured. Whereas here, it's more chaotic.
It's erratic.
Yeah, it is erratic. Yeah. It's all over the place. And it's hard to balance that, you know, and then, because you're in it with somebody. Whatever they're going through, you're going through. It's unavoidable, you know. And
if you guys both have erratic like work schedules or lives or anything, it's like hard to like if I'm with my girlfriend, she's like, I feel like we haven't been like together like recently.
Right. Even though you're like, she's here.
Like we live together. I tell her that I'm like,
right.
we're like literally living together. But she's like, but like, I feel like we're distant because like I'm off doing something else and I have this full-time job and like she's off doing her thing and I'm not like with her friends, because if I became friends with her friends, that's like adding more people that I have to like deal with.
Yeah.
But then I just feel like the asshole where it's like, maybe like, why can't I do it all?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think that's what you hear with like married couples too. I mean, for long periods of time, it's like it's why you go on date night or something. You're like finding that time, because it sounds silly. It's like you live together date night, but I mean, you kind of need that. You kind of need that chase.
Yeah,
you have to kind of keep it going. I think to keep the relationship going. I think once you start losing that, and I was losing that with her quicker than I should have been.
So then after that, you're just like, okay, I'm done. How did you break it up with her?
I told her in person, you know, we met and I talked to her about it and told her, you know, what I felt and as best I could. And you know,
she cried in front of you.
Yeah. You know, it's fine. You know, that's expected, you know? It was rough.
Did you ever think about going back to her?
No, definitely. Yeah. I've thought about it because you do share a connection with somebody for a year. It's not something you can just throw away easily as much as you try, but I knew that it would just go back to where it was,
like,
you know,
that's going to be the point.
It's going to be the point. Yeah. And it's not good for any of us to go back down that path again. So,
So after that, did you meet anybody?
Yeah, about a year later, I dated somebody for about 6 weeks. That didn't last.
Why six? Why
I think
6
I
weeks?
saw warning signs from my previous relationship. I think I had like, going off to war, I have like flashbacks of stuff like that. And I think I had warning signs. I recognized things from my previous girlfriend I saw in her, this new girl. And I was like, let me stop this now.
What are these warning signs? Like, what should guys look out for?
Oh, good Lord. Maybe I'm not the person to be giving advice. She was very big into what is the classification system that just
of what
that defines like how you are as a person, whether you're an introvert, extrovert.
Like the Myers-Briggs test.
The Myers-Briggs. She was very big about that, and she always like classifying people in that. She's like, "You should take that test. You should take that test." I did, and I told her, "She's like, I don't know if I see you like that." But the thing is, even when we were out in public, she would always like bring up that test. Like it was a very like big thing for her. It was just weird. It's just like I'm like, why is you so like? Why are you? And she would like define herself from other people by that. Even me sometimes. I'm like, look, those tests have their validity. That's why they've been around for so long. But you can't define somebody solely by a test. It can't fit. No one fits perfectly into one. I mean, sometimes, but we're people. We're complicated. We're complex. We don't understand the human mind completely. You can't. And she was very big on that. That just kind of, and that was just something that was early. It was 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks. I was like, that's enough. I don't want to do this.
that's it. You're like, you're too weird.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And then recently, since then, I've been pretty quiet. I've been on dates, but nothing stuck. I'm on this. I've been seeing this girl, Katie, for a little while now, and she's cool.
Oh, you're like kind of.
Sorry, not see. We went on 3 dates, so not.
Oh, okay.
You're
not like exclusive.
No. But
like if she heard this saying, "Hey, we're dating," she'll freak out.
I don't know if she'd freak out. But I probably shouldn't use the word date. Yeah, I don't think she'd freak out. But she's cool. I don't know her that well. I mean, same vice versa. She doesn't know me that well. We've only hung out like 3 times.
Where'd you guys meet?
Tinder.
Yeah. Oh, Tinder. Yeah. That's where I met my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I know. I mean, that's how people meet now. It's like, it's not even like weird to say anymore because how like everybody's meeting now is online.
Yeah. So what was the first like encounter? Did you go meet her at a coffee bar?
What did we do? We went, we got a drink. We got a drink one night. Second time I took her to I got invited to the Pirates of the Caribbean, the new movie. I got invited to a screening at the El Capitan Theater.
Oh, wow. So you tried to impress her with that.
Yeah. I was like, I got clout.
Yeah.
And I think somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, David, hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Oh, people know who you are." I was like,
David Griffin.
I know, right? Like that rarely happens. That's about like a Star Wars celebration or Comic-Con. But that was cool. And then we hung out last week. We went to the Golden Road Brewery down here, right in Atwater Village. And that was that was fun. Yeah.
So you're able to like sit and talk with her.
Yeah. Every time we've talked at least like 2 hours each time. And
nice.
She's, but again, it's so, and I think because what I've been through, I get so like kind of pessimistic sometimes. But it's like, I'm not like, it's hard for me to jump into something.
What do you mean? Like it's hard for you to be like, okay, this is the girl I'm into.
Yeah. This is the girl I'm into. I'm kind of like, let's see. You know, I don't hold back. I don't think in terms of kind of like, if she wants to go somewhere deep, like I'll go there, but I don't like just like, oh, let's like talk all the time and hang out all the time.
But are you able to like open up to her?
Sure.
Definitely. You can do that. Okay,
I can open up. Like if she asks me, like if we talk about personal things, I can go there.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I can go there.
You're not like very guarded with a relationship where it's like, hey, like I don't know you that well and I don't know if things are going to work out. Like, so I shouldn't like show my hands.
Yeah. Right, I think I can do a pretty good job of it, but it's hard because like, when you do date a lot and you don't find a lot of success, you know how it is when you go on a date the first time, you're talking about the same things and it's like conversation, you have to start over. It's like, okay, it's a new person.
Yeah.
So, and then you go, it's
same basic questions, like top 10 layout, like, hey, what are you into? What are you doing? What
do you do?
Yeah.
That's always a hard one.
What people ask you?
Yeah.
Like, what do you tell them? Like a girl's like, hey, what do you do?
Well, I tell her collect her videos, like a restaurant. I mean, it's kind of funny because nowadays it's like, it seems like back in the day, it used to just be like, hey, if you're working, that's good. Now it's like, it's different now, especially out in California. I feel like some, not everybody. But some people are more materialistic. They're gonna be like, oh, what's your job? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm working.
What are you? Are you a manager? What are you, like, no, I'm just saying, like, like, if like the materialistic, like, oh, what kind of car does he drive or something like that?
Yeah, I don't get it. To be honest, I haven't had a lot of that. I think most of the girls I've met are pretty down to earth. For the most part.
What do you have in your profile? Tinder profile?
It's very basic because I hate the whole thing. Like, I mean, it's hard. You have to describe yourself.
Yeah.
Like, say something witty. It's all about being witty, and it's like, that's just not me. Naturally, like, I love to have conversations like you and I are talking now. Like, I love to talk, but the witty part, I hate that. It just feels so forced. Some guys are really good at that. They're good at like, I got this cool tagline I use. Like, you watch that show, Master of None on Netflix with Aziz Ansari?
I haven't, but I've seen his stand-up where he talks about dating a lot.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Like, he wrote that book, Modern Romance, and I think his tagline on Tinder. Well, he never used Tinder, but it was like, hey, in the show, it's like, hey, I'm going to Whole Foods. Can I pick you up anything? As we say with every girl, that would be his first, once they get a match, it's his first line. Because it's clever.
Yeah.
And it gets people talking, but it's like, I'm not good at that.
There's like it's like a different skill of just like being witty on the internet.
Right.
Like as opposed to being witty in person or having a back and forth.
Yeah, if you get me like next to somebody, I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
If I'm next to somebody, I'll have a conversation with them.
But just like the one-liners on the
one-liners,
internet.
I'm like, and people are like, oh, I love, and the girls or profiles, it's like, oh, and I like people who are witty and funny and make me laugh. But it's like, it's just, if it's going to be online, it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. So what's your opening line? Do you go after them once you match?
Yeah. I usually try to initiate.
Yeah.
Which seems to be not a lot of girls, I think, unless it's like a bot, some type of scam.
Yeah,
but whenever you get a message like, hey, I'm bored, I'm like, oh, that's a bot. Or whatever it is.
Yeah, come meet me.
Come
text
meet me.
like,
send me money.
Yeah.
Usually I'll say like, not just like, hey, but I'll say like, hi, how are you doing? If it's like Friday, I'll be like, hey, have any fun plans for the weekend? Or how was your weekend? Do anything fun? Like stuff like that. I try to ask a question.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, hey, hey, hi. I try to ask a question at least.
And then so you get some response, or do you notice like the responses you get?
Yeah, usually people will tell me what's going on,
and
then try to go from there. Sometimes it just kind of dissolves into nothing, and even me, I'll be like, eh.
Even you too, like
it's hard. Like I like that things are online because it's accessible and it's easy.
Yeah,
but I think that you can't knock like a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah,
like you and I, even if I don't know, you very well, Brian, but if you and I were talking, texting, the conversation wouldn't be as good as it was, as we were talking like we are now. We're going to start talking and going as opposed to like, but texting is just like, it's just so impersonal. Unless you're with somebody for a while.
Oh, yeah. But like the first initial reaction is like, I can't joke over text. I don't know if he's going to take this the wrong way.
I don't know if she's being funny or she's being sarcastic. Like, you just don't know what, and no one talks on the phone anymore. Unless I talk to my parents. They're like, the phone, why are you calling me?
It's so weird to talk on the phone.
Yeah, it's weird.
But do you have to do that like for a Tinder date though? Do you have to like text first and then call and just make sure that it's not a weirdo or somebody?
Yeah, I think that's smart. I think that's a smart thing to do is talk on the phone. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, you don't do that?
I'm impatient. I'm like, are we going to meet or not? But I try to do low key meetings, like drink, coffee. I'm not taking somebody out to dinner on the first date. Like that's not going to happen. I want to make sure this person, like you said, is not crazy. I've never had a crazy date. They've all been fine.
It's like I don't want to say it's easy to judge, but you can kind of tell. Like I want to say you can tell by the profile picture, by like the way they
you can start
present
stalking
themselves.
Them too.
Yeah.
Do you
Google them?
If I can find out like where did you go to school? Like where'd you go to school? Like I remember this, like with the girl I'm hanging out with now. It was light stock. I'm not like a creeper, but I got that she went to the school and I got her name. So like I looked on Facebook, like, keyword searches. I typed in school and name and she was like one of the top 3. And I looked, just to make sure like they got a family, they got people, it's like, okay, she's a normal person.
She's
normal, as normal as you can be. Yeah.
Normal in LA.
Normal in LA, right? No one's normal, but yeah.
So that's the girl. But after the year relationship.
Yeah. So then it was the one I mentioned that just lasted like 6
weeks. And then
this is
like
some dating here.
Yeah,
but nothing that stuck beyond like 6 weeks. Yeah.
But you said you're on like, I don't want to say a bunch, but like a couple of dating
I was.
websites.
No, I'm just on one. I was on Match.
Oh, you were on Match?
Yeah, I was on Match.
But you stopped doing that?
Because you have to pay for it. It's expensive. I'm like paying like all this money. I could be using this money for other things.
Yeah. It's like $20 a month or what is it?
Yeah, but you have to like buy in chunks. So you have to like buy like $150 package or $100. They want you to commit to a minimum of at least 3 months. So it's like $90 to $100 something.
Whoa. And
then eHarmony you got to pay for too. But the thing is, the paid ones are, I know you, like you said, you found luck on Tinder. I've met some nice people on Tinder too. I think overall though, the paid ones are better because if you're paying for it, you're a little bit more committed to it. People are less flaky.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one thing I've noticed. People are less flaky.
But you think like the dating pool or like the community is different than Tinder? Like the type of people
I think
you
so.
meet? Yeah.
I think people are more. They're looking for a relationship. Whereas Tinder's like, you're not sure. I think people are, but they're like, I'm just trying to meet people.
It's like casual dating.
Whereas like no one's on like eHarmony or on Match.com to like just like, because you're paying for it. Like, it's a, you want to commit to something.
You're not there just to hook up like on Friday night. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Are you like swiping right on Friday nights or anything?
Oh yeah, of course. You're always swiping, on the toilet. That's one thing. There's a scene in Master of None where he shows like the girl's point of view, and there's like a girl on the toilet swiping. I mean, it's like it's like a game now.
It is.
It's a game. Yeah,
that's what's sad because like the whole human interaction thing turns into just your photo, where like it's like nope. Like and then just like that, you're gone.
You're gone
on their phone.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's crazy how many people we can meet now. Like back in the day, I mean, you just dated or met people either in your building or in your community. You didn't think about like, I don't know, like the early 1900s, like, oh, I wonder what's going on in Chicago. Like who's out there, like you just thought of like your community and that was it.
Yeah. Nowadays it's like, Well, if you're not on the website, it's like who you work with or like through a friend or somebody. Yeah.
Like all this stuff, like what's your sign, what's your income, what's your like what do you like to do, like for fun, like all this stuff. And I'm like, I just don't want to fill it. I hate filling out that stuff. It's so it just bores me.
Oh, you had to do that a match?
Yeah, you have to have a profile. People want to know what you do. What are you into? It's like, can we just talk about it? It's just but I know you're selling yourself. Yeah. It's like looking at used cars. Yeah. You're selling yourself.
You have like how you are in your career selling yourself to as a personality on Collider. You have to sell yourself.
It's a dating application.
Yeah.
Which is what it is. It's crazy. I mean, that happens anyway, but the way we do it now, it's just so structured. It's like you're in an office filling out a form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't no luck now or just with the girl?
Just with I can't. I'm not like I was in college. I can't be dating multiple people. Like if I'm kind of dating somebody or seeing someone, I'll stick to them. Like I'm not really on Tinder right now. Like I'm just actually I think I got off.
Oh, you actually
I just cut it all off for now. It's easy to sign back in. Tinder is like profile is fast. It's quick. So
were you on Bumble?
I never did Bumble. No. The Bumble, the girls have to get back with you, right? I think the girls make the first move. Guys can't.
Oh, okay.
I think you swipe.
I don't remember.
If you match the girl, like the guy can't message the girl.
Oh,
I think that's how Bumble works.
Because I wasn't on that, but my friend told me about that. But they have like a day to message, or is that a different one?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's Bumble. I don't know. Yeah,
because like you match, but then you like if you don't like message them within 24 hours, it goes away.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you were never on that.
I was never on that. No, just on Tinder. Yeah.
What's your radius on Tinder?
Oh, I do close because you live in LA. You know how it is. I do no more than 8 miles.
Oh yeah. 8 miles is like an hour.
I don't want to go past Burbank. Once I start seeing like even like Sherman Oaks, I'm like, do I want to go out there? Especially when I see like the West Side, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But too far.
You were dating a girl in Redondo.
I was. I don't know how. Yeah, that was Match. And sometimes with Match, you'll see like this category of girls, just like girls you might be interested in. It doesn't have to do with their radius. They could be anywhere in LA County. Oh. And she was on there, but I really liked her. Mm-hmm. I really liked her. Yeah, it's too bad, but it's too far.
She said it was too far?
Mm-hmm. And I agreed with her, though.
Yeah.
I didn't try to argue with her. I was like, no, you're right.
But you said she was also dating somebody at the same time?
Yeah, she was honest about it. Like, she said, like, hey, like, I want to see how this works out with other guys. So what I appreciate is that she got back to me in a timely fashion. She didn't leave me hanging. Yeah. She was honest. And that's it. That's all you want. A lot of times people just stop talking. It kind of fades away.
So that does happen to you where it's like, hey, like, I thought we had a good time. Or like
nothing. No response. Nothing. At least she got back to me like right away. She's like, hey, and just told me how it was. I was like, thanks for the response. That's what I told her. I was like, thank you. At least I know where I stand.
I'd
rather know where I stand, even though somebody's like, oh, it kind of hurts. Like, yeah, but I'd rather like know. Now I don't have any questions. Yeah, I just know. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're left hanging, you're like, you have all these questions in your mind, like, what did I do wrong? Like,
did something wrong? Did I offend you? And usually I know it's not that. It's just people they just flake out. They don't. No one communicates anymore.
Yeah. But have you done that as well, where you just like stop talking to somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it too. Yeah. I try not to though. Like I've tried. I think most of the girls I've stopped seeing, I've messaged them at least.
Okay.
I've at least said like, hey, I just want to be friends. I actually really do try to do that because I know how it feels on the other side.
Yeah.
So I try to respond.
So there are some girls where you're like, hey, I don't think this is going to work out.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've always, I mean, at least they've always said back like, hey, thanks for telling me. Because I don't want to leave people hanging. I don't like that.
So what's going on with them where it's like, hey, I don't see a connection with them. Like, what's that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you go on a date with a girl, I mean, sometimes it takes more than one, but typically you have that. I don't know if it's a feeling, but it's just something that draws you to the person. Mm-hmm. You're curious about them. You want to spend more time with them. And then after a few dates with somebody, if you don't feel that anymore, it's like, this isn't going to like kick in, if you don't have it, you don't have it. So sometimes I'm just like, I just don't feel it.
It's just the feeling. It's not like the spark.
Exactly. There. I know it's like not the scientific, but it's like, and I don't want to drag somebody along. Be like, let's just see where it goes. It's like, no, nothing's happening.
You don't want to force it.
I don't want to force it. That's not good.
Yeah. Okay. So you're on dating app. I just lost my train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Dating app.
That's where I am now. We're kind of going through like where my dating was going from serious relationship. Dating app. That's where I am now.
That's your life right now?
Well, it's not my life. I mean, I don't put that much time into it. Like I said, right now I've been hanging out with this girl. So
what's your life right now? Like Collider and
Collider work.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a meeting. I can't say anything about it because it's still under wraps. But I had a meeting with one of the bosses over at Collider, and
nice.
Maybe something's going on over there. We'll see what happens.
You write scripts or anything?
Not scripts. Never done that. Yeah. No, just like reviews, editorials, things like that. But no, I never really thought about it. Yeah.
No. You never tried it? Never say like, you never had like a story that you wanted to tell?
I thought about it writing a novel. I have thought about that. I may do that one day. That's a project. But that's the one thing. If I was going to write something, I was like, maybe I could write a book.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But other than that, you're just good with like reviews, like talking about
that. Yeah. Editorials. I like doing the on camera stuff too. And podcasts are fun. I don't do a lot of podcasts, but they're fun though when I do them. I enjoy it.
Yeah. So you're a busy guy though.
I am. I try to keep busy because I hate sitting around.
Yeah.
I can be, quiet and cool at night and calm, but I don't. During the day, I like to work.
Yeah.
I feel better when I'm working.
Oh, yeah. When you're moving.
Doing something. Yeah.
Do you get anxiety when you're not moving?
Sometimes. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. I just like to keep going.
Yeah. And would you, do you have a group of friends that you go out with? Or anything?
Yeah. I mean, my roommate right now, I've known him for 8 years. We went to grad school together.
Oh, you're in like a big house in Pasadena, right?
Yeah. We have a house in Pasadena.
Is it like a fraternity house?
Yeah. No,
or it's like a frat house?
There's 3 guys. But yeah, we're all cool. Then I have a couple other friends out here that I'm close with. And yeah, I have a good group of guys. Yeah. We go see movies together and things like that. Yeah. And then I've been friends I met out here recently, like Makuga and Roka. Those guys they're cool guys.
You go out with them too?
Makuga sometimes. We go golfing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we go golfing sometimes. Yeah. Perry will join us. She golfs too.
Perry golfs?
Perry golfs. She's good. Yeah, Perry's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you grow up golfing?
I did. Yeah. My dad and I started together. I think I was 11. When we started. So I played on high school and played in college a little bit. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, what was the one sport that you thought like you could take it like further? Was it football?
I thought basketball for a little bit, and then my dad sent me to 5-star basketball camp, which is one of the biggest camps you can go to without being invited. Like there's ABCD camp and Nike camp; those are invite only. And I went there. I was a junior or something. I looked and I'm like, I can't do this. Like these guys, some of the guys had like already signed to like Clemson, like Division I schools, just like some of the best players in the country. And they were huge. They looked like LeBron, like just like grown men at like 16. I was like, I'm not this good. Yeah, it was fun, but I'm not this good.
Like, did you lose the passion for it, or was
I lost it? Yeah, I did. I kind of did. I still like basketball. I like to play. I play a pickup game every now and then, but I think now if I was focused on a sport, it'd be golf. I love golf. I still golf. I was just golfing last week, so it's a fun sport. I like that.
Is there a lot of places around here to golf?
Oh yeah, I go to the Rose Bowl course. Is nice. Okay. Yeah, Rose Bowl course. It's up here. Shoal Canyon. It's good right on top of the hill there. Yeah, there's some good courses around here.
Would you want a girl that golfs? Like, would you be into a girl?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something I asked. Like, I don't care. But if I could share that hobby with somebody, that would be cool. Yeah.
You wouldn't mind like spending the day golfing with a girl?
Oh, that'd be awesome. I love that. Yeah, that'd be great.
That's awesome. Then see a movie afterwards. See a Star Wars movie.
Great night. Go to dinner. Perfect night. Done. It's perfect day. Yeah.
What's like your perfect girl that you want? Like that golf?
Oh man.
Or what is she into?
It'd be nice to share. I don't want a copy of me. Like I want something that somebody could teach me things that bring something different to the table than I do. But it would be nice to share in some things. It could be nice to have somebody that, like maybe likes going to a movie or likes to watch at least some TV. I don't need them to be as passionate as I am, but something that we can share in together, whether that's golf, movie, television, activities. But I don't want somebody that's so different that we have nothing in common. And again, I don't want to copy. I don't want to date me. It's like that Seinfeld episode. Like I dated me. Like I don't want to date myself.
So you can date somebody that's like not in like the entertainment industry. Yeah.
It's kind of nice because you get a different kind of conversation. Yeah. I have another friend who's one of the head editors at ScreenRant.com, and he actually thinks one of like the owners, one of the main guys, and he even says that like his wife, he's happy that she's not in that industry because like he's typing and working on articles all day long about geek stuff and movies and television. And when he goes to her at the end of the day, he doesn't want to talk about that anymore. So he likes it. It's a different feel. It depends on the person. Yeah.
That's what my girlfriend says. She's like, why are you with me? Like, I'm not like into anything you're into. And I'm like, it's great because it's different. It's like I don't want to date a copycat of me because it's like talking to yourself, and it's just like
you get to experience different things. You can experience what she's passionate about. She can experience what you're passionate about, and I think that's cool.
So that you want a girl that's passionate about something, that's like working towards something.
Yeah, right.
Does she have to have a master's degree as well?
No. But it is interesting. I don't say this like I hope this doesn't sound snobbish, but it is interesting because I have done so much school. Like I do read a lot, not to parade it over people or anything. I don't start conversations like that, but I do read a lot. I am inquisitive. I like to learn. Yeah. So I don't need somebody who has like a master's, who is like a doctor or anything, but I do like to talk to girls who are curious about things, about life. Not the same subjects I am. Like I like history and things like that. I don't need to like that, but just curious about things. I want to learn more about something and like read about it, at least engage in it some way. There's only so much time I can talk about surface level things. Yeah. So I do appreciate that.
Where it's like you can have a deeper conversation. It's like, oh, I got to know that. Like, right. And then learn more about it and go into it more.
Right. Exactly.
You like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Somebody who likes to kind of discover or research a little bit. Because you learn when you go to, you learn in high school too. Maybe in college. When you learn in high school, you learn like when you write like an argumentative essay. Yeah. You can't just simply write an essay that says, this sucks because I hate it. You'll fail. You'll remember like when you learn that in English, like you have to like acknowledge the other side. You'll say, well, this side has this point. Politics is hot right now. And we're in LA, so it's so left.
Yeah.
Everything's so left, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's fine. I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in a more conservative town. Most of my family and friends were Republican. But it's so left that like everybody has this one viewpoint, and if you go against that, people blow up in your face. But they don't argue well. Like there's no conversation. Just like, no, it's A plus B equals C all the time. I'm like, no, but there's other factors. Like, let's have a conversation. Let's kind of break this down. And so, it's nice to have somebody who can, at least see the other side is what I mean. Just like you would when you're writing an argumentative essay.
Okay. So you're saying the people like opposed to the left don't have a great argument, or just like,
oh no, I'm sorry. I'm being general. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm being general. I'm not trying to pick on, I'm just because this is where we are.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen, like I said, I've seen friends on, I don't know if I talked about this on the Makuga show, but I've seen friends on Facebook post things like, hey, if you voted for Trump, you better unfriend me now because I don't want to be. And I'm just like, there's a lot of people in America that don't live in LA and New York City, the biggest cities here, that are super liberal, that vote a certain way, and they're not racist. They're not going to grab a woman's vagina. They're not going to slap somebody in the street. They're good people, but they have other views. Voting for Republican means a little bit more than racism and how you treat women. There's a lot of, people are like, we talked about it, people are complex. You're complex. A girlfriend, I haven't met her, but I'm sure she's super complex. Everybody's complex. We all have different layers to us, and to just simply categorize somebody by who they voted for and be like, oh, you're everything that he stands for, therefore I don't want to be a part of you. It's like, that seems like ignorant to me. It's like, you got to have a conversation with somebody. You don't have to agree with them. Nothing like that. That's why we're in America, freedom of speech. But like, you have to at least have a conversation, talk to somebody.
Yeah. They're more about the Republican policies as opposed to like the guy behind.
There's other people around the world that, they're not just bad people. Like, everyone for Trump's bad people. I'm like, so.
Or racist.
How many? It was like, how many? 63 million bad people? I'm like, I don't know. It's too easy. It's too easy.
That's too easy. But I noticed that as well. And like, it's a bubble in LA.
Yeah,
like you live in a bubble of people that just agree with everybody.
Like, how could somebody vote for him? Like, this country's huge.
You
ever I drove cross country one time. It's a big country. There's a lot of people,
and they have different viewpoints. But it's hard for me to like how can you vote for a guy who says he grabs women by the vagina and like just like that? But I'm sure like if I step back and look and how you approached the voting, like I can see your viewpoint.
Right.
Because like right now, I'm just getting like.
I'm not saying I voted for Trump. I'm just saying in general, yeah.
It's funny. You have to like say that. You're like, I didn't vote for him.
It's like all those messages. I'm like, David voted for Trump. They voted for Trump. Get rid of him. Impeach him from TV talk. Yeah.
But you grew up in a conservative town?
Yeah. Because I grew up in the Midwest, small town. So I grew up small business owners and things like that. So my town was mostly Republican where I grew up. I didn't grow up in a highly Democrat area.
So they liked like the Republican stances because it's like limited government,
small government.
Let me do my business.
Right.
Like, leave me alone. Government. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But is that like? Does it become like a racial thing? I don't want to. That sounds like a dumb question. I don't know how to word that. But like, can like a black person be conservative or like vote for Trump or like something like that?
I mean, you can, and there's plenty of people out there that are, but if you were to come here and talk about that, you wouldn't be received very well.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think, again, this comes with research. I mean, you read about presidents. I mean, Kennedy wasn't a saint. I mean, he didn't talk about grabbing people's vaginas, but he had Marilyn Monroe sneaking in the back of the White House. I mean, he was cheating on his wife. I mean, he didn't say it out loud. Trump's, he's a kind of a bully. But it doesn't mean that the other guys were good. No one's perfect, and my thought is like, everybody's like hashtag not my president, but I'm like, well, if you're living in the United States, he is your president. So we have to deal with that. So it's 4 years. He's not a king. We don't live in a monarchy unless he, gets second term, which he might, because I don't know who Democrats can put up against him. But he's not. So how can we work with him if we can? To make our country better. Because he's there. Outside of doing something horrible to him, which no one should do. It's like you can't do anything about that. So let's work on that.
That's why like I see other like people like I'm just working to impeach this guy, and it's like, well, that doesn't like progress anything.
And I say the Kathy Griffin thing with like having his head, and it's just like. We got to, the thing is, you always hear about the great empires. I know it's a different time, but it's like falling from within. It's like we need to like stick together, not be divided. This is a very like divisive time. A lot of people are angry. It's a hard world. I mean, we had there was this morning in Orlando, there was a shooting, some guy went back and shot at the place. And then obviously in London with the attacks. I mean, it's kind of a, rough time right now. A lot of anger out there.
It seems like a really scary place.
Right.
Like the world.
Like you said, with social media, it's instant. Like, if you have CNN, I had to like turn my CNN updates off because I was just tired. Like every 5 seconds, you're getting some tragedy, sent to your phone. I don't need to see that all. I mean, I know it happens, but there's only so much you can do. But it's like, we just have to be aware of things and come together.
Yeah.
Come together.
It
sounds like very hippie. Like, this is love each other, man. This is love, man.
That's but like isn't that like what you should be doing though? Like healthcare and all this stuff. Like, why can't we just like take care of each other and like help each other and just like love each other?
Love each other. But there's just, I mean, it's a complex system, and we can protest it all we want. But it's like, I mean, can you imagine if one of us and all those people you see in marches and everything, if they were like, okay, here's the key, fix it.
Yeah.
It's a complex system. I mean, remember that, what was that movie? Christian Bale with the stock market crash.
The Big Short.
The Big Short. Yeah. Like, there's very few people who can actually look at that market, and that's like one dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's other stockbrokers out there. They understand how it works, but I mean, actually fix something or see like a fail, a big fall coming. Very few guys, men and women, saw that. Like, it's a complex thing. It's a giant.
Yeah.
You can't go there like, I want to fix the economy. It's like, how?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to, too, but it's just, it's complex.
It is.
Like, people.
People, the whole world is complex.
The whole world's complex. Yeah.
But like protesting and all that stuff, it's like, I wonder if like people must have done that for Obama, like back then.
Oh yeah, people were against Obama again. Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways. Right. So it's like,
the Republicans aren't safe from this. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, people get on other people, but it's just, it seems worse this time with Trump in office.
Well, because like
he doesn't help it.
No,
he does not help with his angry tweets. He needs to stay off Twitter.
Yeah,
he does not. He doesn't help it.
Did you watch the Megyn Kelly interview with Vladimir Putin?
I did. Yeah. I hate. Now I gotta say this with a grant. No. Easy people listening to this. I know he's a rough dude, but man, as a politician, he's a good politician. He's a great speaker, eloquent, like just what he's saying. I'm like, he's making some good points. Even I know I hear some bad stuff about him. I don't want to say he's like a saint, but he's a good politician.
What do you hear about him?
Well, I mean, you hear just, and this is weird too, because it's like, it's Russian. So we'd like to villainize him. Like, well, he has people killed. I'm like, American government, we have people killed too.
We've had people killed?
Yeah. Well, I mean, government, FBI, CIA. I mean, what I mean is governments kill. I mean, where we'd have wars, we fight.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
I thought you meant like,
I don't think Putin himself. I don't know if Putin himself has shot anybody, but I mean, he's, they said, he's hurt his people and all this kind of stuff, which I believe there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, he's been in power since, what was he in the prime minister, like in 99 or 2000? He's been around a long time.
18 years?
18 years, yeah. So, I mean, he's been around maybe too long. But man, watching him, I'm like, he's smart.
Yeah.
Like, you can see he's got a lot of charisma. I can see why he's been in power so long. But I mean, there's stuff in Russia that I'm not even going to try to talk about because I've never lived in Russia. I don't know about it. But I know there's been rumors of him, or facts, I should say, just like how he treats the people. And
they said like in that interview, like he goes after reporters if they say something bad about him, and he has them killed.
He has them killed, right?
But I don't know. Has that happened? I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't have proof, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. But I can't help but watch him and be like, yeah.
But that interview came off. Like Megyn Kelly didn't come off as well as I think she wanted to come off, because she was asking like questions where I raised my eyebrows at, where like it's like, whoa, she asked that, but then like he just like he has this like suave thing to him, where he's like, you can't prove like what I did.
And I like that he's putting his face out there. Like he has this on Showtime. He did an interview with Oliver Stone that's coming out. I can't wait to watch that. Yeah. I mean, he's putting himself out there. He doesn't have to do those interviews. But he's like, I'll do it. He's not hiding. It's so funny that everybody's like accusing is it Jared Kushner? Jared Kushner is like, he talked to the Russians. And I liked I think it was the head of the Homeland Security was defending Kushner. And he's like, look, we were enemies with Russia for a long time, for decades. What's so wrong about a guy? Now I know the stuff with like the voting and all that, but what's so wrong about a guy having friendly talks with Russia? It's like, we don't want to be enemies with everybody. Like, we don't need to be putting walls up and threatening people. It's like, maybe we should talk to Russia. Maybe we should have conversations with them, I mean, but I know it's Trump and he lies a lot, so no one trusts him.
That's the thing.
He lies so much. Yeah.
What can you believe?
Right.
But like people say like, oh, Russia, everything, like they're the worst. They're evil. They're hacking. They're just like want to take over. It's like, what do they have to gain from us?
I don't think Putin wants to start a war. I mean, we established that in the Cold War. Mutual assured destruction is something we learn in history all the time. MAD. Because we know that, my history teacher told me during the Cold War, they were building thousands and thousands of nuclear weapons. He's like, you only need about 100 to make the planet uninhabitable. We only need about 100. 100 big powerful ones, launch them off different areas. We can't live here anymore. So that's all you need. So it was more of like a pissing contest, who could build the most. But everybody knew we don't want to launch nukes. Because when somebody launched nukes, everybody launched nukes, then we're all dead.
The whole
world's dead. And no one wants that. I don't think we're quite there yet, thank goodness. So again, I think most humans want to do the right thing. I have to think that I can't.
You see the good in people?
There's a lot of evil.
A
lot of bad things, but it's not, the evil doesn't outweigh the good. I think. I mean, World War II could have destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
But hopefully we got stronger.
Yeah.
There's been some good stuff in the civil rights movement. I'm speaking of America. I can't speak of the whole world, but civil rights movement. When my dad was alive in Virginia, there was the colored and the white people, drinking fountain.
Yeah.
He went through that. I don't have to go through that right now.
So there's progress.
There's progress.
Yeah,
It's not perfect. This is a tough world to live in, but it's not. It's getting better. I think it's getting better. I hope it is.
Do you think when people say like for movie screenings they want like a black only screening, do you think that helps or like
I think that hurts.
That's what I think.
Yeah, like with the Wonder Woman, like the woman only screening, it's like women only. It's like let's have everybody. Let's have a conversation about it. I'm all about conversations.
But it's like the unpopular opinion to say like, oh, like I don't care if it's women only. I don't care. Like do your own thing. Yeah.
It's not a problem.
But like just to have like a black only screening for Black Panther or something like that, that just doesn't like jive with me, I guess. Because it's like, why can't we all just like get along, like that hippie thing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like if you are like segregating yourself, like it's not helping.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I think, but it's just we have walls. I mean, I'm African American. I was born. I mean, when I grew up, my parents told me about what it's like to be African American, and they taught me not to hate white people or mistrust white people. Most of my friends are white. I have a lot of white. Yeah, I was like, oh, darn white people. But just to be aware, like when I was talking about dating, when I was young, there was I can name probably at least 6 or 7 girls that I dated where their parents weren't happy that I was black.
Really?
Or that's the other thing. Because my dad was an orthopedic surgeon, I would go to their houses and be like, oh, my name's David Griffin. Like, David Griffin. Oh, you're Dr. Griffin's son. Like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, they wouldn't say that's okay to me, but they would like nod, like, oh, like in their head, you can see them be like, oh, well, he's safe. I thought it was some kind of like gangster or something like that.
But you were aware of that? Like you saw that?
Yeah, and I knew that. And when I was young, I got angry. Like really, not like towards the parents. I wouldn't do anything, but I was mad, and I went home like, Mom doesn't understand this. And she told me, she's like, David, what you have to do is you have to realize that it's not that everybody's racist. She never told me to hate. She always told me to love. Like, it's not that people are racist, but you got to understand when we were kids and their parents were kids, people weren't mixing like that. Whites didn't date blacks. Hispanics didn't date, whites. Like people stuck to their own people. So just understand that it's not that they're racist. They're just not used to seeing that. So it's they're like, what's going on here? So after that, I just tried to be nice and kind as best I could and hoped it worked out for the best.
Yeah. And it's relatively new too, because it's like 3 generations ago or like
it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like it's like my dad's 68 years old and he was around as a kid, but he was around during segregation. He was born in 48, 49. So I mean, segregation lasted a while, so he was around all that. It's not that long ago.
Yeah,
which is
like,
crazy.
That's what it's just like time. Well, hopefully time will like heal like everything.
Well, I always like what I think it's Joe Rogan. says this on his podcast. Like things like the Civil War. That was like 2-3 people ago. 3 people ago. It was like, do you think about it? It was like 3 people ago, like 3 people before you. That's when it was going on. I mean, it's like we're not that far away from it. So I think we have come a long way. I mean, I'm only speaking for the States, but even though there's still a long way to go.
So, but you did notice like discrimination when you were growing up?
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't always blatant. Like no one said like, get out of here, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like that, but I did. You could feel it. Yeah,
really?
For sure. Sometimes.
Like with teachers or anything?
I didn't, not that I was aware of, but like with other students,
Oh, students were.
Yeah, I was never made fun of. Especially once I got bigger and I was on the football team. Again, you're protected. Once you get like a part of a group, you feel protected. So it wasn't like that, but I did notice a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. But you, like what happened? Were you like shoved aside as like a second class citizen or something?
I remember the pool one time. I go shoved aside in the pool and somebody called me the N-word. And I was like,
really?
All right, man. Yeah. Yeah.
How old were you then?
I was little. He was probably a high schooler. I was probably 5th grade, like 9 or 10.
And what happened? Did you like tell your parents?
No, I think maybe when I got home, maybe I did. I think I kind of kept quiet about it because I didn't really know. Because it didn't happen a lot. To be fair, most of the young friends I had were great. It was mostly the parents, especially when I was trying to date the girls. Yeah. That's when I experienced more of the racism. And again, it wasn't blatant. It wasn't like they weren't calling me names to my face.
Yeah.
It was just stuff you felt.
But it's like how your mom said. It's like it's just weird for them.
It's weird for them. Yeah. So I stopped being angry, but I used to be angry about it.
You like what would you think when you were angry?
Just angry. I'm like, look, I'm just as good as the next guy. Yeah. I'm just as next good as the white guy. I'm kind. Like I just thought I was a good guy. I'm like, why does it matter what my skin color is? Because I grew up in suburbia, so I didn't grow up amongst a lot of black people. My family was black, but I didn't grow up with black people. It was mostly white people. So I felt like an outsider sometimes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, sometimes. But most of I had close friends, like I said, and it wasn't all the time. But sometimes I felt like an outsider.
Like they wouldn't like include you in things.
And then when I go to the black community, I felt like an outsider there too because I grew up in a white area. So it was weird growing up.
Yeah.
There's a new show called Dear White People on Netflix.
Oh, I heard about it.
It's based off the movie that did well at Sundance a few years ago. And they deal with a lot of those issues, like the racism within, and all cultures have it. You know, Asian Hispanic. There's racism amongst the people, but I think I've experienced more racism with other black people than I have white people for most of my life.
What do they say? Like, you're not like black enough?
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, like you sound white. You know, you're. No one says Uncle Tom. That's like old school. But I mean, stuff like that. Like like you're basically a white person. You're not really black, which is stupid.
They would say that like oh you
when I was little.
Yeah. Like oh you're not like living your roots or something
something like that.
Yeah.
And then that kind of made me want to stay away from black people for a while. I've come back, but I remember it was a while, even in college, where like I just didn't want to hang out with black people.
Yeah. That's what, do you know Donald Glover stuff? Like,
yeah.
That's what he talks about. Like in a stand-up, he's like, I wasn't black enough for the black kids. I wasn't white
Key
enough.
and Peele talk about that a lot too, because those guys are both mixed.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're mixed. Yeah, they talk about that a lot too. It's just like, you just don't, like, where do you blend in if you're, like Donald Glover, because he's a nerd.
Yeah, he's an NYU grad.
Yeah, NYU grad. It's like, the black people don't want to talk to you because you're not black enough, and then the white people, I mean, I did feel that, but it wasn't awful. Like, it didn't happen all the time, but there were examples of that happening for sure.
So like, you wouldn't feel ashamed, like, why? Like, I'm going to school, I talk well, like, why can't I fit in?
There were times when I was little, I tried to like change my accent, which didn't work, and it's just because I wanted to like fit in, I'm like, wait, why am I not black enough? Why am I not this? And then after a while, then I just stopped caring. I'm like, I like Star Wars, I like fantasy novels, I like video games, I don't care. And now it seems like that movie Dope was really good. Now, those guys grew up in Compton. I didn't grow up in Compton. Again, I wasn't like that hostile of an environment. Remember, those guys were like, we like white people stuff. And it was like, we like Game of Thrones. It had this list of things that they like, and they were getting pushed back because the other black people in the community were like, you can't do that. That's not being black, you know? And
see, it's like, why, like, but why do people care, like, what other people think?
It's just, it's been, the scary, how scary it is. The weird thing about it is it's been handed down since slavery. I can only speak for the black community. I can't speak for everybody, of course. But it's been handed down since slavery. What happened was, and maybe you know some of this from history, Tarantino talks about this in Django Unchained, is they separated, the black people, separated the light-skinned people from the dark-skinned people. They put the light-skinned people in the big house, which is the better job, put the dark-skinned people in the fields, which was a brilliant move by the slave masters because they didn't want to encourage rebellion. So that means they wanted to divide the slaves. Oh. So the dark-skinned slaves had animosity towards the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves thought they were better than the dark-skinned slaves. And it still goes on. There's talk, like, if any black people listen, they know this stuff. There's like good hair, there's bad hair, there's good skin. It's all this like stupid racism stuff in the black community that's been handed down since slavery. It was a brilliant move by them. Yeah. Because it still affects our culture. It still keeps us divided.
Yeah, divide and conquer.
So if anybody's listening and you want to learn more about that, I mean, watch that show, Dear White People. You see, there's like the first episode, they kind of like break up all the different like black groups and who like Donald Glover would be in one group and so and so would be another group, and what's a real it's crazy.
I didn't know that, but I saw it's Django, but I didn't know like that.
Basically, the lighter the skin was, the better.
The lighter. What do you mean the better?
Like if your skin's lighter, you're better somehow because you're closer to being white, which is stupid. Yeah, it's stupid,
ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
it's dumb. It's horrible.
It's like a scientific thing. It's like your skin. Like what?
Yeah, but I mean, if you were mixed or something, if you had, or if your hair, if it's straighter, it's better. I mean, it's stupid stuff. It's horrible.
Did you hear that Bill Maher thing?
Yeah, that was dumb. I know I don't think Bill Maher's racist. Yeah, but it's just he's been in the game so long. It's like, don't you know not to say stuff like that? Like he's been around a long time.
Like why did he feel comfortable saying the N-word? Like in
I mean, because stand-up comedians do. Like Louis C.K. says it. Oh yeah, But it's like I guess he gets away with it, and he's also doing it he has a routine he's doing it with too. So he's rehearsed it.
And it's like he's not saying it like the guy in the bit saying it or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's the difference. But yeah, I mean, I know Louis C.K. said it in front of Chris Rock before, and Chris Rock's like, yeah, it's okay. I don't care if you say it.
Yeah. So why how come
even Chris Rock retired that word? I don't think he uses it anymore. Really? He retired it. Yeah, he doesn't use it anymore.
Because like I remember like Neil Brennan says he has like the card to say it.
Yeah. Right. Like, and he says it, but I think because it's Bill Maher.
Yeah.
And I think he said it in a room of all white people too. So, and it wasn't a bit. It was like off the cuff.
It was like what he was thinking.
Right. But he's going to be on, I think, Friday. I think his show. He's coming back. They didn't fire him yet.
He's still going to do his show.
He's still doing a show.
You think like he should apologize for it?
I think he probably should, or at least clarify. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think Bill Maher's racist. People are like, oh, it's racist. Like, I don't think he's racist, but I think he needs to clarify what he meant by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, because it's not a funny joke.
No,
like,
it's not funny. Yeah, it's bad taste.
Yeah, it's just like there was no reason for him to say it.
Right, right. And it's like, you've been doing this for so long, you know not to say things like that. Yeah.
Like stuff that Louis says, it's funny because like, and even John Mulaney says like the F word is just as bad as the N word. F word, not fuck, but like what, like gay, quote unquote gay.
Yeah, you can't say that. It's hard to say that anymore.
Yeah, I feel bad saying that now. But his stand up was like, I can say that, but I can't say the N word. And some people are like, it's the same thing. And he's like, no, because I can say the F word, but I can't say the N word.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And,
I don't know. It's
so many sensitive issues, and we're so politically correct nowadays. That's one thing with Trump I did agree with. Just and that he's not the first person to say it, but just talk about how political correctness is getting annoying. Not that people go around saying the N-word, racist stuff, not like that, but just everybody being so careful of what they say all the time. We're in this uptight community, situation now where we can't say anything or else you're going to get vilified. Like, you're a villain. You're a horrible person.
Because on social media, you get this mob just going after you. Like, follow this guy, tweet him, retweet him. Like,
people get like violent out there. Like, it's almost, people turn into what they hate. Yeah. Once you start like protesting somebody, getting angry, and like then you become the villain, but they don't realize it.
That's what I noticed about like the left now. Because like they're just going against Trump and just like everything he does is bad, everything he does is awful, everything he does sucks. Yeah. So it's like, no, like now you're the villain. Take a step back and listen to what he has to say. Exactly. Even if you don't agree with everything, like people experience that on the other side with Obama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, so you can't win. You can't win.
What are you watching these days? Do you watch like talk shows or is it just like strictly like scripted television?
Strictly because of TV talk, we have to watch so much TV. I don't have a lot of time for talk shows, but I'll watch clips. So like if
like Colbert,
or more not Colbert, more Oliver, John Oliver. Yeah, I'll check like a John Oliver clip out. But yeah, just mostly scripted television because there's just so much. Like American Gods is out right now, so I'm watching that on Stars. That's really good.
You subscribe to all these channels?
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's like my job, so it's
it's literally your job to watch television.
It is my job. I do get paid for it, so it's an expense. Also, I do live with 2 other guys, so we all split the bill. So it's not like I'm paying for it all on my own. So that also helps. Yeah.
You gonna move out on your own, or
at some point? Yeah, I'd like to. But we have such a nice house in Pasadena, and you know how it is out here. LA is really expensive to live in, so I'm happy where I am now. We have plenty of space there.
Yeah. Do you have like a time or a goal or something? Like by the time I'm like 35 or 40, I want to do something.
I would hope in the next few years I have a full-time gig. I mean, there would probably come a point if I'm not doing what I want to do full-time, I would look to something else.
Really?
So with like more stability, paid vacations, things like that. Instead of like kind of the hustle and bustle. I don't mind the hustle and bustle. I like to be on my feet, but it'd be nice something to have a little more stable.
Yeah.
So I don't have like an exact time.
Yeah.
But if I feel like I'm not progressing anymore, see, I'm still progressing, I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm still learning new things and experiencing new things and being asked to do more and more and take on more and more responsibility every year. And once that stops, I just start flatlining. Then I need to look somewhere else. But that hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So I'm still happy with what I'm doing right now.
So you think there will be a time where it's like, hey, maybe I should think.
It's possible, yeah, definitely. And I hope I'm open to that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're progressing so much that like.
I hope so. It feels like it. Yeah. But sometimes I'm like, okay, let's go. But then I have to like take a step back. I have to like look at my life and be like, hey, where was I 3 years ago? Like, hey, I wasn't doing this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. You have to kind of like sometimes stop and like, look on your life and see what's going on.
Yeah. That's why I say LA, like time in LA is like different.
It's crazy. Just keeps going. No time for reflection in LA. Yeah, no time for
because reflection. You have to keep moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. You have anything else you want to talk about? I feel like I talked so much about...
No, this is good. No, thanks for... Yeah, I mean, I feel like if anybody's listening, like, sorry if I'm rambling sometimes. A lot to talk about. There's just so much going on right now and in the world, and there's a lot to talk about.
That's what I like having these conversations because I like talking to someone.
Can't do this texting, man.
No.
Can't do it texting.
You can't do it on Tinder.
So, hey, girl, what's going on tonight? Like, what you do? Like, it's just so stupid. Yeah, you can't talk like this on texting.
Well, let us know how things work out with Sarah or Katie.
Katie. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Keep us updated.
I will. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at GriffinDE. That's GriffinDE. Twitter and Instagram. You can find me over there. And of course, Collider TV Talk every Monday with Josh McCouga, Emma Fife, and Sinead DeFries.
It is a Monday because I
forgot
what day it is.
We go live at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
It's live
Monday.
now?
It's live now, yeah.
Because it was like live to tape or no?
It was live to tape. Now since we did the 5 days in a row, which were all live, we've gone live since then. So at least the last 4 shows have been live.
You like it?
I do. Yeah. I like live. Yeah, I like it.
It just keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, and we shoot live to tape anyway, so we never stop.
Yeah.
We just keep going for an hour, so it's fine.
But like you can correct something if like something goes wrong.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. Yeah,
but live, like it's just do it live.
Yeah, like McCouga spoiled something from Wonder Woman movie. So if you're watching the show this week,
really,
it's not he covered it up well, but he spoiled a little something from unintentionally.
Did you watch Wonder Woman?
I did. Yeah, it didn't bother me. It was fine. Yeah,
is it good?
It's great. It's definitely worth seeing. And that's when take your girl. Even if somebody's not into superhero film, it's just a good movie.
She wants to see it. That's why.
Go see it. Yeah, definitely go see it.
That's why I think it made so much money because even girls are like, I want to see that.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I gotta see it. I'm at Schmoes Beardo and. Anything else you want to say?
No, man, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you, man. This is awesome. This is a great talk. And,
thanks.
Thank you for talking to me. And let's get out of here.
All right.
Thanks.